So here we are on our way to the Altered Conference in Berlin 2017 to continue our mission to document the rock stars of the psychedelic Renaissance.
The first summer of love was here when I was much too young. The first summer of love was clearly just a summer long. There was Jesus on the radio, Jesus on the train, Jesus in the carnival, Jesus in the rain, and there was love, 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 love. Anyone could see that there was love, love all over me.
Right, we are back here at the interview desk for the third Summer of Love here at the Altered Conference in Berlin 2017, and we have another guest with us. So could you please tell us, who are you?
My name is Julian Vayne.
I'm Patrick Everett.
My name's Rianne Crane.
I am the Reverend Danny Nemu.
Excellent, excellent. And what do you do, Julian?
I'm a writer and I'm an occultist and I'm someone who's interested in promoting the importance of the psychedelic experience.
I do psychedelics.
I'm a PhD student in sort of literature and the philosophy of language.
No, I'm a researcher, independent researcher of psychedelics, philosophy and Western esotericism.
What do you do, sir?
I'm a hypnotherapist with an interest in ayahuasca and altered states.
Fantastic. And what actually are you doing here at this conference here in Berlin?
Here in Berlin, I've been involved in the opening ceremony and helping to facilitate that for the 400 or so people that are here with us. And I'm going to be speaking tomorrow here at the conference.
Fantastic. And this is my favourite question. We ask this question of all our interviewees and we get some fascinating answers. So can you tell me, what was your first and or most significant psychedelic experience?
It's a really interesting question. It's interesting because it suggests a most significant, and they are all significant in many different ways. So the birth of my children and being present at that, a ritual that I did which involved being suspended by a piercing from a yew tree in a forest. But I think that the one that really stands out in terms of psychedelic experience was a ritual that I did with some magician friend colleagues of mine, which involved ketamine. And this is a psychedelic which has no traditional use, so we had to come up with something which would fit in terms of the story of this medicine. And so we constructed a ritual which involved me being bound in saran-wrapped cling film and being given the ketamine and then being laid down and going into the K-hole state, and with people singing the bija mantras of the chakras. As they got up to the heart chakra, they took small doses of ketamine. I was giving an additional dose, and then what happened was that they took some bandage removal scissors and they cut me open. And I had the experience of going into this state where there was nothing than this being deep within the earth, and then having this moment of realizing that I was somehow being opened and that I might perhaps be a liquid, and eventually flowing out and realizing that I was this physical form with limbs and stuff, and I was in the world and reborn.
Incredible. Fantastic.
What we're doing at Altered is that we're bringing back the psychedelic gnosis into our culture. That thing that about, that we have access to these materials, we have access to the state, and we know that it's good for us. We have empirical evidence that it's good for us, and to be able to then trace the history of how that thing has kind of come into culture through things like the first and second summers of love. This is a massively important cultural shift. We have been disconnected from the psychedelic gnosis, from this ability to change our states of awareness, to see all of this parallel processing stuff which happens to heal us, for a long, long time. The way that religious structures have grown up, okay, there are bits of kind of, forms of Christianity that allow these kind of like outbursts of ecstasy, but they are in the main, they're certainly not chemically mediated, and they're generally toned down in a lot of kind of Protestant kind of cultures. Yeah, so we're seeing now the reclaiming of this stuff which has transformed culture. This kind of thing, the iconography, the the conversations that we have would have been utterly unthinkable 100 years ago, completely insane. This is what like freaky native people do, for Christ's sake.
Indeed.
About how we've gone from the situation where we've got all this traditional knowledge and this wealth of this, and then we've got this new pharmacopoeia which has appeared, and really very, very quickly people start saying, okay, the way we navigate this space, and we're intelligently putting together all these completely new roadmaps for the other experiences that we've got through these novel materials. It's fantastic. It's a real testament to our ability to intelligently engage with the medicine and find our way through it. You know,
Yeah.
5-MeO is a fascinating substance. Fascinating substance.
Absolutely, I love it.
Yeah.
And I was saying to Alexei, the thing with 5-MeO is that when you first take it, it's kind of scary because it grabs you by the scruff of the neck and it says, "Come with me!" Oh my God! Oh my God! Yes, thank you. God! Of course! Hey! Thank you! Oh, you are fantastic! And it takes you to, slingshots you to the source of the universe, and you just find yourself, oh my God, here I am. Oh, but it feels so familiar and it feels so lovely, etc. Bliss, etc. But you get to a point with 5-MeO when you're used to it and you know what's going to happen, you don't go anywhere. And well, with me anyway, you don't go anywhere. You just kind of go. You're expecting the slingshot, and it doesn't happen. And you open your eyes, and you just see this perfect moment in front of you.
I know.
This perfect, perfect picture of the moment. And then you go, of course, that's what it's all about. Of course. It's about living in the moment. It's be here now.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, I was hanging out with a group of magicians recently, and I kind of over the course of a couple of days I sat with them, so they'd come up and we do like the paired thing with me giving them the 5-MeO, and very often at sort of the end of the ceremony, what I would do is I would just take the last bit, basically between the different clients who were coming up. And yes, because of the dosage level, because it was being, it was outside in the bright sunshine, and every time it was just like bang, like this is like your singing bowl.
Yes, absolutely, and everything is edged in chrome, and it's perfectly contrasted, and everything is sharp, as pin sharp. And wow! And my idea is that it's like that all the time, but we have all these filters in place to block that stuff.
But I would find it difficult to drive in that state.
Well, yes, I think so. Absolutely.
I'm kind of pleased that I can. That's the thing, isn't it? It's like being flexible. It's like being able to say, okay, I can enter into this state, and I can get all the benefits and all the kind of the useful stuff that comes from that, including all the difficulty and the sort of stuff that I have to work through, and then I can return to this other state where I can drive and have conversations and speak to my mother on the phone and things, and I can be informed by that, and I can. It's flexibility, you know. It's like the whole kind of Taoist thing about like being like this sort of pliant reed rather than this brittle.
Absolutely, yeah. No, it's my favorite. My favorite supplements. I have it on my neck. That's for me. That's the one. And that's the one I encourage everybody to do because it's.
Well, this is what
that's
when you said like the
way.
most, the most important psych. What was the phrase that you exact the word?
The
you used
most
again?
significant yes.
psychedelic experience. It's really hard for me to tell because obviously, whatever, they're all there. But I think that, and I wouldn't want to ever privilege one medicine over another. But in terms of my story, I encountered 5-MeO and really engaged a lot with it. Some of the writing that I've done. I wrote this thing with Nikki, which was our explorations of 5-MeO in this particular kind of magical context, and I really like it because ayahuasca and DMTs and that side of things is really interesting, and the visual material and so on. But the way I describe 5-MeO to people is it's like, the feeling of tripping, not the sensory material, but the feeling, the deep feeling of tripping. It's like that, turned up to 11, really hard, for like 5 minutes. Yeah. And then you're back and never back.
Indeed. Changed forever.
I'm just a guy, who does stuff. And but the thing about the psychedelic experience is because it's about this kind of, for me anyway, it's about this connectivity. Yes, there are people who are fortunate enough in my situation to be able to write stuff and talk about these things and be reasonably open about this kind of stuff. There are people in different stories doing different work. And there are many stars in the sky right now, of which we are some. Indeed,
absolutely. And the nice thing is we're all here doing the same thing,
doing the stuff
for the same purpose, and we're all just walking each other home.
Yeah,
I mean,
lovely. I'm really pleased and honoured to be able to come and speak with people and so on. But what really matters is that there's a community out there building and doing this stuff and transforming culture, and we will do this. We have to do this. The planet is dying.
Absolutely.
Our social structures are deeply damaged, and we must get this healing out to people. And however we do that,
psychedelics is the fastest way to do it. You can spend you can spend 10 years as a Buddhist monk meditating to get to the same place, or you can take 5-MeO and get there in 5 minutes.
And I think more broadly than that, it's saying like the psychedelic experience, however it's arrived at for people, is something that is our birthright and is something that is helpful and something that is healing and something that we must do as a culture. Whether we do this through breathwork, whether we do this through ayahuasca, whether we do this through whatever works for the individual, for the community, but we have to do this because for our psychic health and our well-being as humans on this planet and for the whole of the biosphere, we must do this work. May we all be liberated.
Indeed, absolutely. Right, okay, I think that's enough. Otherwise we'll be here all night. Thank you, sir, very much. That was incredible.
Away their gold today and grow their hair again. Acid on the radio, acid on the brain, acid in the calico, acid in the rain. And there was love, 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 love. Anyone can see that there was love, love all over me. There was love, 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 love. Anyone can see that there was love, love all over me. There was love all over the country, and there was love all over the world.
So can you tell me who are you?
Yeah, I'm Rick Doblin.
Who are you, sir?
My name is Marika.
And my name is Rose.
My name is Kalindi E.
My name is Amy Tollett. I am one of the organisers of Reiki Convention.
My name is Ben Sessa. I'm a child and adolescent psychiatrist.
Rupert Sheldrake.
My name is René. Van Betten.
My name is Alexander Joyful.
We are the Seed Sisters. Seed Sisters. My name is Deborah Chalawai.
Who are you?
That's a profound question.
It certainly is, yes. Usually I'd answer that. I'm Bill Richards. I'm a
clinical psychologist and researcher from Johns Hopkins School of Medicine.
And presently an adjunct professor of clinical biology and chemistry at the University of
We do research with psilocybin, which we've been doing for 17 years now.
I started working in research on the chemistry of psychedelics back in 1969 when I started my graduate.
And what do you do?
Well, I try to make psychedelics into prescription medicines.
I work for MAPS. I'm the executive associate there. And my main role with that is assisting our executive director, Doblin.
We're sort of like local.
So who are you?
Besides all of that academic credentials.
My name is Dave Nichols.
Okay.